And so from the Shamrock Foundation, I'm going to pledge $25,000 to the cause today.
Awesome.
And then Amelia and I, my wife, Amelia Fazzolari, and I want to pledge out of our foundation for this hour, 5 to 6. We'll do a $50,000 match. So we get $50,000 in this hour from the listeners. 50's coming from us.
Challenge. There we go.
Coming in hot.
So
now to
$50,000.
be fair, we'll match up to 50. In other words, you get 40, we'll match it, guys. Let's get what we can get. Do what you can.
Well, we need 50.
Everybody's doing what they can, but let's get to 50.
We need 50.
No, we got to
Okay,
match.
hold on.
That's 100.
Hold on.
Right.
You know what that's like?
Right.
That's like
I wasn't sure everybody was doing the math. That would then
And
be
then with
100.
the 25 on top of it.
So that's $400,000 you're getting.
Let me bring it down to earth for most people, okay? That's like going to the second round of the NBA playoffs, okay? Right. We want to go to the finals, right? Here you go. So every dollar will be matched up to $50,000
This
by
hour.
this
I love
guy
it.
right
We got to
here.
do it by
Coming in
6.
hot.
Got to do it by 6 because I got to be here to verify. Yeah.
Okay, that
Just
sounds
kidding.
good. Let me give you the phone number out. 877-738-1234. Every dollar is literally doubled. 877-738-1234. And I know that Steve Paliuca is coming on tomorrow, and I know he's always been great every year.
Steve's got news for you tomorrow.
sure he
that
does.
I'll let him share. He's the chairman of the Shamrock Foundation, and so he really has been the driving force behind that with so many other people. But Steve really, so he'll have news for you tomorrow.
So, Wick, we obviously love the fact that you come in and really appreciate all that
Thanks
you
for having
do. I'm just curious. I know that the Jimmy Fund. Dana Farber, kind of Boston.
It sure is.
And is that why you do it? It just means
Yeah,
a
I'm
lot?
born and raised here, like so many of us, and I've known it since back in the day. I probably practically knew Jimmy. That's how long I've been around, and the kids out there, right, that I just encountered out here, and on the tours that I've been at, Boston Children's, and Dana Farber, and the Brigham and Mass General. I'm on the board of partners now, which is partners Brigham and Mass General and Mass Ioneer. I couldn't be prouder of the great work that our hospitals are doing, and I'm trying to do everything I can to support it.
Do you I mean, we hear so many different stories, and it really is mind-boggling what they're capable of doing with all the money that has been raised. Do you when you look back at years past, are you just amazed at how far the research has come and the advancement of science?
I am. It is amazing. And yesterday I was at a meeting around the Children's Hospital Stem Cell Research Lab, because we're a little bit of a part of that. And I was at a research meeting for the Stem Cell Lab, and I've never been in no offense to you guys, you're all super, but I was so lost. We would have been lost. These are brilliant people, and they're giving their lives to fighting cancer. So that was a children's event. But my job before I came to the Celtics, had the Celtics idea, was medical investing. So I was doing venture capital, but trying to do biotech and medical devices, trying to make people well, making businesses out of it, but trying to do the right thing. So I go all the way back to the 80s with medical research, and I love it.
All right, a couple basketball questions, because we don't get to see you that often. So I'll throw this one out to you.
That's because you don't call.
So is that what it is? We keep telling him to call you.
Greg Hill calls, he goes.
Yeah, Greg shows up in studio.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
So let's start with this one.
Glenn is Mr. Celtic. I mean, he goes all the way back.
I know.
So it's been a wild off season for you.
Yeah.
Did you ever expect what you would end up with at any point in last season? Did you think it would end up this way?
Well, during the season, it was definitely a difficult, frustrating, up and down. We had good moments. For a stretch there, I was talking to Danny yesterday at lunch. For a stretch there, we were statistically the best or second best team in the league for, 6-week stretch. If you look at certain stats, we knew we weren't the best team in the league, but we weren't as bad as we finished. And so I was puzzled by winning 5 playoff games in a row, sweeping Indiana, and then winning the first game on the road in Milwaukee. So I felt like we had gotten our free pass. Like the stuff that happened in the regular season, I actually thought you win 5 in a row, you win on the road in Milwaukee pretty handily, like maybe by 19, 20 points. I'm sort of thinking, well, okay then. And then we lose 4 straight and get banged out of there, swept out of there. And so it made it all the worse. So I've been frustrated ever since, and we made some changes. And changes happened to us, and we made other changes, and we went for, we got Kemba Walker, we got Enes Kanter, we've got 4 real character rookies. We brought back, obviously, Jason and Jalen and Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward's in the facility.
Like a free agent.
He's at the Auerbach Center, 6 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., 10 a.m., every single day, 7 days a week. I mean, he is, and he looks unbelievable. So just telling you, I'm loving the team. People are loving the team, but we're hopeful that the chemistry will be there.
So it sounded like Danny kind of got an inclination that maybe Kyrie wasn't coming back
Yeah.
somewhere a couple months before he actually left.
Maybe February.
But were you guys shocked at Al Horford leaving?
That was surprising, and I've been in touch with Al, and we were in touch all the way through, and we think he's got a good home in our arch rival Philly, and then we opened. The NBA took full note of it, and now we opened down in Philly opening night, and it's going to be a lot of fun to wipe the smile off everybody's faces down there.
But there were no indications at all that he was going to leave?
I think that I think that Al made his choice, and Philly made their choice, and we made our decision, and everybody it's the way it all played out.
So we were all kind of laughing as reports came out after Al. I know there was reports that maybe Danny or the Celtics organization was upset. Maybe there was tampering involved. And we all sort of chuckled at that anyways, because when free agency opened up, all the deals were already done. So there's obvious tampering. So how do you control that so it doesn't get out of control? Because it's clear as day. The contracts are done, and guys are announcing it on Sunday before the deadline, right?
Well, it's hard to. It's above my pay grade. I'm on the committees. I'm on the executive committee of the league and all that stuff. But it's not for me to reform how free agency does, and it works. And actually, we have to negotiate that with the Players Association as well. So there's lots of steps to go through to change these rules and regulations. I think what either was it Adam? I think Adam said that, or Mark Tatum, the deputy commissioner, said we're going to have rules that we can enforce, that are clear and everybody's fine with, and we can enforce them. So maybe the talking will start sooner legally, instead of saying don't talk when it's like drive 55 and everybody drives 65. Then what's the rule?
Yeah.
So I think they're going to try to look at the rules, but that's a group of people, not just me. It involves the players as well.
At what point in time do you think discussing last year will end? Because I feel like the Red Sox are having this issue right now where they keep
but they get to discuss a World Series championship.
No, I know, but
That's true.
I was just hanging out with John and Linda a little bit, and Tom and Amelia, and we were all discussing the World Series championship. I mean, why not discuss that?
They're discussing it in a different way as far as why they can't rekindle, what's different than last year. I'm curious because the whole offseason has been all about what went wrong last year, and then the farther everyone gets away from the season, more players talk, you guys talk, we just hear more information, you hear ESPN come up with more.
Here's what I think. I will never forget last year. There's good years I won't forget. I won't let anybody else forget them either, the good years. But last year was a year that was frustrating enough that I'll never forget it. Okay, so I will never forget it. But I'll be glad to talk about something else by playing better. The only way to erase some of it is to step forward, over the next 5-10 years and do something meaningful. So, it gives me all the more reason. It gives all of us all the more reason to, get back to where we want to be.
It seems like you have the complete opposite. You have Kyrie Irving with his personality, and then I feel like the pendulum is swung completely the other way with Kemba Walker and his personality as far as what he's saying and about teamwork, and he's going to do all the right things. Have you noticed that? Is that a big difference for you as far as those two personalities?
I will say I am a Kyrie fan as a person as well as a player. He gave us 2 years of effort. It didn't work out this year. He did genuinely say to us, to the fans, I'm coming back if they'll have me. He really meant that, and then things changed. But it wasn't out of ill will or, he meant it, and he tried to make it happen. Then it wasn't right for him. That's a little different than saying he was never telling the truth. He always hated it here. It's not true. He gave it a good try. It turned out not to be his long-term home. It is what it is. So it's not. I'm not going to put him in a category. Even private conversation, or even thinking to myself, talking to myself, I don't sit there and say he's a bad guy, because he's not. He's doing his best, and he's got his career. These careers are short, and he's got the right to play where he wants to play. I'm okay with it.
Rick Grousbeck is with us. More importantly, he is offered to match every dollar up to $50,000 in this hour. It only can happen in this hour. So we actually need you to pick up the phone right now and dial 877-738-1234, 877-738-1234, or you can text K-Cancer to 20222.
2.
Thank you. And that's $25 as well. But only this hour. So please take advantage of every dollar.
Amelia and I
is
and
worth
my
two.
family, the entire Grousbeck family, would really be honored to be able to do that full match. We're trying to just encourage everybody. We're all very lucky, as we know, to have the Jimmy Fund and Dana Farber and the Brigham here in Boston. And it's a great feeling to be able to help them.
So we want to get up to 50
Yeah,
grand.
so
let's
Get
do it.
Every
Running out of
penny of
time.
it.
We need to.
One more for me, basketball wise, and I'm wondering as an owner, how you feel about this. The NBA now off season is absolutely phenomenal. Lou was talking about the tampering. It is. You talk about marketing. It is unbelievable. Everybody is now talking about the NBA in the off season because of the movement of players. On the other hand, the players are moving by themselves.
Yep.
It's not like teams are putting them together. The players are going, I'll play with you. How about you? You play with me.
Yeah.
They were trying to get away from that in the way you set up 4- and 5-year contracts and super maxes to maintain loyalty, a player to stay for a long period of time.
Yep.
It's done just the opposite. So as an owner, how do you feel about it? You're getting phenomenal marketing. Everybody's talking about the NBA
Yep.
in off season,
Yep.
but you don't know when the next Kyrie Irving is going to walk out on your team and go play with some other player somewhere else.
Well, we've had 3 All-Stars choose us in the last 3 or 4 years when you add it up with Al and Gordon and Kemba. And Kyrie really was happy to be traded here and sort of help make it all happen, if you remember all of that. We are becoming one of the destinations. So if it's going to be a knife fight among teams, among different markets, we're in the category of a place that people will come to play. They'll come to play for our fans, as Al did. They'll come to play for our coach, as guys come here, and in general, they have their career year quite often under Brad when you look it up. And they love the fans, and they love the team and the support and the new practice facility and everything else. So we're a destination. We're not LA necessarily, or for everybody, or whatever, Miami with the taxes and all of that stuff. But we're going to fight as hard as we can under whatever regime and rules. It's great for us in general that our players are global icons. Okay, our players are global icons, top 10, top 20 most famous people in the world. You're going to find NBA players on there. And our sport has gone 5x or 10x or whatever since I came in 16 years ago. So the other side of having global icons is they've got a lot of power, to drive the narrative. But it's better than being obscure and unnoticed. We're in the business of entertainment and winning world championships, and we can do both.
So, Wick, I actually heard you with Michael Hawley. I think it was on the podcast. Danny was there. I think Danny said something about team last year, maybe too many individual goals. And when the team loses, a lot of people just start taking, what happened? What went wrong?
Yep.
We all think, and I think most people in Boston think, that Brad Stevens is a great coach. X's and O's. But you have to wonder, I don't know if it's fair, and a young coach learns, given his history in college, young teams here in Boston early on. Learning experience for him as well. Is that safe to say, as far as dealing with maybe stars in the game, more egos, guys with individual goals, and maybe a new experience for him that maybe he'll learn from?
Well, you can ask him that tomorrow. I mean, he's in, and I'm not sidestepping the question. But I think that if there's anybody that learns from every single thing he does all day long, I'd probably be pretty confident that Brad's at the top of the list. I think he is a sponge, and he's learning stuff. And he was out with Popovich last week, watching and maybe helping coach the USA team.
Because that is a big challenge in that league,
he's
right?
hung out with Krzyzewski. He hangs out with Popovich. Now he's 6 years in the NBA. It's got to be different than Butler. I think he's done great. He knows he has our total long-term support, and he's got the ease of mind that comes with that, and he burns to win the thing. He didn't quite win it all in the NCAAs. He went to the finals twice. He hasn't won it all with us yet, and he burns with it more than anybody. So he's our guy, and I'm looking forward, and he's looking forward to the season. I was with him yesterday. He's looking forward to the season.
2 o'clock, the 2 o'clock hour tomorrow. All 4
Nice.
of the pro sports teams in this
Couple
town
segments,
coaches.
too, we got 'em
2
for.
segments. It's Brad Stevens, it's Bruce Cassidy, it's Alex Gore, and it's Bill Belichick. Tomorrow's the day to ask the tough question.
Well, we did that
And Bill.
yesterday.
Oh, did you? How'd that
We
work?
did that. It went great, actually.
Oh,
You weren't
man.
there.
He
I mean,
told
what do you
us
expect?
everything.
You weren't there.
Oh, he opened up to us,
so
Bill.
I was
He's
the
like,
problem.
Glenn's not
Bill,
here?
what was the
Oh,
deal?
good. Let me unbutton my
I'll
top
tell you
collar.
why. I'll tell you why I didn't play Malcolm Butler.
Oh, really? What's the answer to that?
No, he'll never say. He'll never tell us that.
I'm waiting for the hard knocks to figure it out, but they'll never have a hard knocks.
So why don't you come on the show tomorrow, the 2 o'clock hour, and you can ask him that
Do
question.
another match.
Yeah, but we'll have all 4 of the coaches.
Well, we got to match
That's
this.
gonna be-
Match this $50,000 offer from Wick Grousbeck and his family.
Yep.
I mean, this is
Wick,
an
thank you.
unbelievable deal. Wick is putting an extra $50K on the line. But it's all match. It's got to be matched by you. So you start with the 50 grand, and he's going to drop us another $50,000. But it's got to be in this hour. So if you were thinking, and you've been listening to this all day long, and you've been hearing these heartwarming stories, these last 2 kids that we had were
amazing,
unbelievable, and you've been thinking about doing it, now is the time to do it. Every dollar is worth 2, thanks to Wick Grousbeck.
If you love the Celtics, it'd be great to do it.
There
if
you
you're
go.
kind of a little tired of the Celtics, stick it to me. No problem.
It's a win-win.
make him pay more.
Whatever you want to do.
Would it be something if we get Kyrie to call this hour?
There you
And
go.
he can
Hey.
contribute, right? And we get to the 877-738-1234. 877-738-1234. Down the road, we'll talk some basketball on the show, but I want to thank you for doing this
Thanks,
because
Wick.
you're
Great to see you
always
guys.
great.
Thank you.
most definitely.
25 grand he brought in.
You guys
today.
are here doing the work, and we all appreciate it. So nice
Well,
job.
the doctors, as you know, the
Okay.
researchers and the
They're-
scientists,
and the kids
they're doing
are really
the
doing the
kids
work,
are doing
and
the
the
work.
parents.
We're just here, just slouching.
You're doing great.
We got nothing else to do for 4 hours. What the hell am I going to do? Between 2 and 6. Thanks again. Wick.
Hey, good
Yeah,
seeing you
Really
guys.
appreciate
Thanks
it.
a
Great
lot.
seeing you.
Thanks.
Wick Grousbeck of the Celtics.